Hello and welcome to Drum Forest Drum Gaming. Today we are playing some Rainbow Six and I am joined by the lovely Jaime.
Aloha.
How are you doing today, Jaime?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. How's your day been?
Stressful.
Stressful?
Been doing a lot of coursework and it's stressful.
Yeah?
And I spent 20 minutes looking for a roll of tape.
Oh, nice. Did you find the tape?
I did.
Well, at least you found it. That's a plus.
Yeah. How has your day been?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Same old, same old. Did some work this morning. Did a little bit of research and things. Other than that, I haven't really done much. Played some Dead by Daylight.
And how are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's a good game. I'm not very good at it, but it's a good game. But
I don't think you're bad at it.
No?
You just, obviously some games you're going to be luckier than others, and then some games just have really good killers.
But then I tend to think I'm bad at quite a few games. Like, I'm pretty bad at Overwatch. I had a really good game of Overwatch last night, though, with Jack.
Gotta be positive. You're good at games. Think positively.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate
Alright.
that. So, I had a question for you, Jaime.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about early access games? Like the sort of early access scheme, if you will.
I think they are a really good idea. And I think it's... Oh, I've found the hostage. And I'm crawling on the floor. How do I get up?
So, control.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I think they're a really good idea. To be able to kind of like get people to test the game out for you before it gets released kind of thing.
Nice.
Get a chance to kind of explore it before anyone else does, which is always fun.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you on that one. Yeah, because I mean, unfortunately, I'll let you grab him since you found him. Because unfortunately, I mean, I've heard sort of quite a few complaints, unfortunately. And I don't think it's a completely widespread sort of view on it, but I do see and hear a lot of people sort of complain that they buy an early access game and then they actually complain that it's not a full game.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I hear about this, it kind of bugs me. Like,
No, yeah.
people, because unless, like, Steam definitely, they specifically say what an early access game is and not. I mean, I think there could still be, I'm not 100% sure on this one, but I think there definitely were some issues about early access games being sold on other websites, not necessarily just Steam.
Okay.
And they didn't specify that it was an early access game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can understand if you buy it thinking it's a full game and it doesn't state that it's early access, I could understand that would be fairly annoying.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, so it became sort of quite a big, there was quite a bit around it. I mean, obviously, for anyone out there who doesn't know, an early access game is basically a work in progress game. They're mainly there for users to test the game, give feedback to the developers so that they can make further improvements and so that the games are as effective and enjoyable as possible. There was an issue when it sort of first started. I think it's much less of an issue now, but where certain game developers were just trying to make these just to make a quick buck. So they would make an early access game, have people buy it, and then just never bother finishing it.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's not nice. That's a real. I don't think. Once again, don't quote me on it. I'm not 100%. I don't think it was the big companies that were doing this. If you know what I mean. I think it was sort of just unknown game developers. I think were doing this and things like that. Once again, I'm not 100% sure if big companies were doing this. If they were, then that is not cool.
Yeah.
But I think that was more just sort of unknown game developers trying to make a quick buck, and that was an issue, unfortunately. But Valve, the people who sort of run Steam and make a lot of their own games and really sort of back the early access gaming, it was about 1 to 2 years ago, they actually changed their guidelines to prevent a lot of that.
Okay.
as much as they can. And basically, their guidelines sort of state, don't launch an early access game if you can't afford to develop the rest of it without sales of that early access game.
Yeah.
So, like, if your early access game being completed is based on it being sold as an early access game, like, you just shouldn't do it. Which I agree with. I think that's a very good point, personally. Like, if people want that kind of support then they should go to like Kickstarter or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This, like, Steam and early access development isn't Kickstarter. Another thing they said was make sure to set the expectations properly everywhere that you talk about the game, because there were some points where you had early access games going out, but then when updates came, they would do things like delete people's save files.
Oh, right. Okay.
When it was like that they had developed on the early access game.
Yeah.
And I mean that could get pretty irritating.
But at the same time, it is just an early access game.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe when it came out fully, you'd want to kind of start afresh and stuff.
Yeah, which I completely get, and I think Valve were just kind of getting at the point of, look, if that is going to happen, just let people know beforehand. Just physically state, like, really sorry, but this will delete the save files, or this will stop this from happening, and things like that.
Yeah.
But once again, I personally believe if you are playing an early access game, then I believe that you should fully expect, like, to be honest, a save file being deleted when the full game comes out. I mean, I would personally want to start afresh when the full game comes out.
Yeah, see, I would too, so that probably wouldn't bother me too much.
But I do know that some people got a bit annoyed on it. And also the other one, which apparently happened quite a bit, was they had a lot of game developers launching in early access, but who were actually done with the development of the game.
Right, okay.
So they were effectively launching a game in early access for feedback on how their game is, but they weren't planning on changing any of the game itself, like any of the gameplay.
See, that seems a bit pointless.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I mean, Steam have said, don't do that. Like, if you want to test your game and you're not planning on changing gameplay, you know, send keys out for internal playtesting.
Yeah.
Like, which I think makes a lot more sense to me anyway.
Yeah, it does.
And also, I think the other one, which apparently happened quite a lot, which I think, I don't, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me, which seems like a really silly idea, is there were some people launching early access games based on a concept.
Right, okay.
Like, they didn't actually have the gameplay for it.
How does that work?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure how they managed to get away with that, but they were basically launching a game with the bare bones, not really anything to it, and just going, so this is my concept, give me some feedback. And people are sat there going, well, you know, you could have just written that down.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
You know, and once again, if you want people to think about a concept, once again, just talk to people. You know, and so they were getting some issues with that.
I think the main thing with it is you've got to communicate exactly what you're trying to achieve with it.
Yeah. And I think there was a lack of that when it first started, especially. And I think a lot of people also, because obviously you have Kickstarter as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think there were a lot of people. Oh, we're defusing a bomb. I didn't even pay attention. And it's downstairs. They've set the thing off, and it's downstairs.
Right. Can I ask a question? How do I crouch? I don't remember.
Crouch. I've got it set to C.
Oh, yeah.
And then control is to go prone. Because obviously, yeah, there's Kickstarter as well, isn't there? Which is, in a way, kind of a similar idea. Except they sit there and they go, look, this is our idea, this is the budget, who would like to see this game? Who wants to see it made? And unfortunately, there have been games that have come from Kickstarter that everyone thought was going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately failed. A prime example of this was a game called Mighty Number 9.
Right.
And I can't remember who the game developer was, but I think the basis of it was meant to be like a spiritual successor to Mega Man. And like Mega Man is a big old game. Like it's a massive franchise. Everyone loves the Mega Man. Like people who know the Mega Man series pretty much love it. Who have played it, like, and it's a retro games. Like there are a couple of dark horses in there. Don't get me wrong, but overall, it is a big franchise that people love. And apparently, it pretty much got hated. Like I'm sure there are a few people out there who enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, and I personally haven't played it. Like it didn't really interest me. I mean, I like the Mega Man games, but I was never an avid fan because I was pretty rubbish at them, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
So I only played a few of them, and I did really enjoy them. They were good. They were just quite difficult. They kept that sort of distinct retro gaming difficulty to it. But apparently it was not well received at all, unfortunately.
Alright, okay.
Which is a real shame.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, anyone out there, guys, if you know sort of more reasons why, because as I said, I've not really played it. I've only gone on what a lot of people have said, and when I say a lot, I mean you can type it into you could literally probably type in Mighty Number 9 into Google, and probably one of the first page will be full of questions like why did Mighty Number 9 suck and things like that. So if you guys at home know why it was bad, just put in the comments, let us know. I'd be interested to see, and if anyone out there thinks it is still a good game, once again, let us know. Like, tell us. But yeah, so I mean, overall, I'd say the early access thing is a good thing. I like the idea of it.
I mean, like Dead by Daylight did a similar thing. It wasn't so much early access that it wasn't the full game, but they did like test builds of it.
They did.
So you could play.
Yeah, they did like alpha and beta testing, didn't they?
Yeah, and there was a lot of bugs that were happening that people let them know, and now you don't get them anymore because they managed to fix them and stuff. And I think that's like, if they had just released that game, it would have been a nightmare to play. Everyone was just having rubbish games because they were getting stuck in the floor and everything.
Yeah.
But by allowing people to test it first and give them feedback, it obviously is now a decent game where you don't really have a lot of problems with.
Yeah, no, I'd agree on that. I'd say Dead by Daylight, it doesn't have any issues sort of graphically or bugs and things like that.
No.
I mean, I've got some issues with a couple of the killers. I think they're a bit overpowered.
Yeah, but I feel like that's stuff they're still working on now.
Yeah, I think that's stuff that may come in the future, but it may also be the way they want it, sort of, because there's no difficulty setting, so it may be sort of like,
Some killers are harder than others.
Yeah, which I can kind of understand, but some of them I just find infuriating.
I mean, it might also be a thing of some people find different killers difficult.
Yeah, this is very true.
I like the Doctor. You find him annoying and don't really like him.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue on that one is, I think they call him the Shape. But it's the Halloween one.
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
And I'm down.
I do find him a pain in the butt.
Yeah, he is an annoying one. But that's only because he can sneak up on you. I feel like if you can't really do anything other than that. Whereas the others, like the hag being able to just like teleport and pop out at you, that's quite overpowered.
Yeah, no, I'd agree on that one. I will agree on that. But yeah, I mean, I think we both agree on this one. Early access gaming is a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people can really sort of say it's not. But I mean, guys, if you're out there, if you do think it's not a good thing, or if you have issues with it, let us know. Let us know in the comments. It'd be good to hear your thoughts on that one.
I mean, I could maybe understand people saying it's not a good idea because if they are gonna play the game, they want to play the full version. Like, why would you want to play a version that's not final or that has issues or that may eventually change? If you're gonna play it to get the first impact of it, kind of thing, that first impression, you probably would want to play the full version.
Yeah. So I mean, I suppose it could come off that, like, by playing the early access version, it may put you off it because it's not everything's there.
Yeah, so you might play it and be like, no, this isn't for me, like, this is wrong, I would want this differently. And then in the full version, that might have changed. That might have been feedback that they took on board and thought, actually, yeah, we do need to change this, but you might never bother going back to that game because you just didn't like it from the early access.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. So it could go both ways on that one.
Yeah.
Ah, that's fair play. I think that's a very good point.
I did really bad in that last round.
I found the hostage straight away. I got the hostage out. I haven't looked at my kills at all in these last couple of games. I've been too engrossed in our conversation, Jamie. Been talking loads.
That's why, if anyone watching, we was going to talk about this while playing Dead by Daylight. But we decided that would be a really stupid idea because you have to concentrate a lot on that game.
Yes, there's a couple of games I can't talk and play. One of which is Dead by Daylight because I'm focused too much.
Yeah.
The other one is Overwatch. In a previous episode, you may have noticed that I'm playing Overwatch with Jack, and I really struggle to sort of keep on track with what I'm talking about. And it's because the game is just so chaotic. Overwatch is a great game, love it. I'm really bad at it, but it's so chaotic.
Yeah.
That I just struggle to keep on board with what I'm saying.
I mean, that happens to me sometimes on this, and this isn't like nearly half as chaotic as what goes on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does happen when trying to have a big old conversation and you're trying to focus on a game at the same time. It is tough.
I have not seen anyone.
I've seen 6.
Come to me, people. I would like to kill you.
So, nice bit of gaming news for you guys. I'm going to try and bring out a bit of news in each of our Let's Talk episodes, hopefully.
News.
Yeah, you know, just one thing from the gaming world that's sort of new, or just a bit of news. So, on May 15th, which from now was only a couple of days ago, from when I'm recording this, The Surge was released. Now, this was the game that I couldn't remember the name of that we spoke about in a previous video, Jamie, that was like Dark Souls, but sci-fi style.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
So that was released. Now, The Surge was released on the 15th of May. For anyone out there who wants to know, it's the genre is classed as a hardcore action RPG. So that's your Dark Souls, your Bloodborne, your Neo style game. It's that style of gameplay. It was made by the developers Deck 13 Interactive. Now, I personally have not played any of their games, I don't think. I may have played one and not realised it was by them.
Yeah.
But what I can tell is I don't think I've played any of their games. But they are the developers, so if anyone out there is a fan of those developers, get this game, you know. You may really enjoy it. Apparently the progression is based on sort of modular upgrades through visceral combat, which is quite cool. So it's like your Dark Souls, and I think from what I can tell, you get upgrades for like your mechanical suit, and you get more powerful that way.
Yeah.
Apparently it's got a roughly 30 to 40 hour campaign, so you've got a decent sized campaign there, guys. You know, for your storyline, for those story buffs out there, that is there for you. You can follow that, which is nice. And yeah, as I said, if you're a fan of that Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Neo style fighting games, action RPGs, then this should be your style of game. You should enjoy this. I mean, I know personally, I'm definitely going to get this game at some point, and I am going to spend my life on it, almost definitely. I always do on those styles of games. I spend so much time on there. Love them. So just a couple of review scores that I've found. IGN gave it a 7.9. GameSpot gave it a 7. Metacritic, the Metascore was 72, and the average user review was 7.3. So I get that overall it's not on the top tier of games as it stands from what I can gather, but it is a decent game. You know, you're not gonna get it and be really disappointed, if that makes sense. You are going. I feel like this is a game that you will enjoy.
It's all a matter of opinion as well, isn't
Yeah, it is definitely, and it's the kind of game that I think I will really enjoy. I would probably, like, if it's the kind of game that I'm expecting, I would probably give it higher than the scores that it has.
Yeah.
But when I was looking, obviously the average user review on Metacritic is an average. Like, I was looking through some of the reviews, and there were some people giving it full 10s and 9s and things. And yeah, as you say, it is a matter of opinion on that one. But I reckon I'll really enjoy it. Anyone who's out there who already has it, let us know how it is, you know? Tell us about it. So you got a lot to tell us about this time, guys. You got to tell us about Mighty Number 9, Early Access Gaming, and now The Surge. I want to know what's happening in your gaming worlds. But yeah, so that is my news for this episode.
Is that a game you think you'd play on your channel?
I reckon I would, actually. Yeah, I reckon that would be a game I'd probably play on my channel. Completely blind playthrough I'd try and do.
Cool.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty good. But yeah. How did I do that game? Oh, I came second. I didn't even think I saw that many people.
Well done.
Thank you. But yeah, so I mean, I think it looks like a good game personally. I'm definitely going to get it at some point, and I am going to rinse it. I'm going to play so much of it, it's unbelievable. But I always do, as I said, with like the Dark Souls. So let's head on back to that main menu there. Yeah, so I think we've covered some good ground today, Jamie.
Yeah, I think we have. It's been a good episode.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Had a good conversation about early access gaming. So yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. You can follow me on Twitter at Matthew Sherwood at DrumForestDrum. And yeah, don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Take it easy, guys.